Hello my friends, it's Dr. Katka here. I want to share with you this video is completely unscheduled. I just feel very inspired by current events and everything that is going on. Today is a full moon. It's always a time for reflection, and I love to offer a big picture reflection of my own and everything that is coming to me right now. You know, it's going to be almost a year since we have started having to deal with this COVID infection. We're now at a state that, you know, the vaccine is a priority. I have just learned that starting on Monday, I come from the Czech Republic, which is in the middle of Europe, and I have learned that as of Monday, the biggest precautions are being put in place as far as unable to leave. Definitely the borders are closed, but now the borders between counties are actually closed. And the Czech Republic itself is one of the top countries in Europe when it comes to the virus infections. And the vaccination started, you know, right on time in October or so. Everything started, and then just a few weeks ago, everything has been full blown with vaccinations, and it has not stopped the progression, quite the opposite, which makes me very concerned, wondering, does the vaccine itself really weaken the immune system and actually makes us more susceptible? That is a big question for me. But other than that, I want to really look at the big picture for us. You know, what I have seen is there are several groups. We have dealt with anger, we have dealt with sadness, we have dealt with fear, and it's usually one of these three emotions that is at the forefront, at least for most of my patients when they come in and are concerned about COVID. It's usually sadness. For the most part, that one is covered by fear or anger. And I just want us to step back and reflect on the bigger picture of what has been happening in the medical establishment and with many doctors. I have been watching YouTube videos by frontline physicians, you know, Dr. Corey trying to put the medication out there that is truly having been studied as preventative and effective for COVID. And it just really makes me pause and step back and look at us physicians as absolutely trying to do our best. And the biggest piece we go to school as to help people and do no harm are the two big askings that we promise and that, you know, we are being asked of. And I cannot imagine what I'm feeling is like this global cloud of, I don't want to call it desperation, but it's this depth of sadness that is so profound that it's very difficult to be felt by our human heart. And I cannot even imagine being a frontline doctor, seeing patients dying, and me doing my best and absolutely that not being effective, knowing that there is something else available. You know, just in my toolbox and from everything I have learned and watching the frontline doctors' work, stating that really the bottom line of this infection is a systemic inflammation that starts shutting down the system, is a coagulation where the blood starts clotting, and then eventually underlyingly is lack of oxygen and acidosis. And they are systemic, and that the actual respirators, the machines, are not effective because of all that underlying issue that is going on. And we have had studies and things have been put out there as to what we actually know helps. And it is at the beginning. So, I come from the naturopathic, from both worlds, right? The naturopathic world has many options. One of them is ozone that kills the virus, and doctors have done it and actually have had effects on the patient getting better in the middle of the treatment. So it kills the virus and brings the oxygen and increases utilization of oxygen, which is the trouble that happens here. So that's one. High-dose vitamin C has been proven from very early on in Asian countries. And we have the zinc and the vitamin D as a prevention, right? So we have the basics. But then being from the other, from traditional world, we have the medicines that are being studied and have been studied, and that's the ivermectin and that's the hydrochlorothiazide, that are cheap medicines. And for the most part, patients asking me for them and are not able to get them from our pharmacies. Definitely not hydrochlorothiazide, and very difficult to be able to get ivermectin. And then there is that frontline treatment that is suggested by Dr. Corey and his colleagues that have done multitude of research. That again is the steroids right at the beginning. I've spoken about that, but I'm just trying to put it in the bigger picture here, and that is that just, on my fingers of my hand, I can count multitude of treatments that are available for this condition, and they are not being utilized. We have had some struggles with medicine as far as looking at the organs versus the whole being, looking at symptoms versus the underlying condition. So this has been a pattern and a little bit of discrepancy, and I don't want to say fight, but discrepancy between traditional medicine and naturopathic medicine. But this is, we have traditional medical medications that are effective right now, and we know what is going on underneath, and yet we are not using it. And that part, it's like I wish, I pray, I dream of a paradigm shift. Where we start looking at the big picture. This is not, where we get into our hearts and get into our hearts and leave the mind behind, the one that is set up, and leave the power struggles and the money struggles. Like, we gotta make this about the lives and not about politics, money, power struggle. And that's the paradigm shift that is really needed right now. This is the first time I'm sharing. This is a big thing for me. And at the very beginning of this pandemic, when it started, I was asking as to what do I need to do? How do I best need to serve? And I did, in the middle of this meditation, out of nowhere, and I would not have made this up in my mind. So I know this came from my heart space. In the middle of the meditation, I saw the particle of a virus, this huge particle of a COVID-19 SARS-CoV-2 virus, blue with tentacles on it. And what I saw is, or witnessed rather, it was almost like it was shown to me, was this love, this universal love just enveloped the virus. The truth of who we are, the love of who we are as humans, as humanity, just enveloped this virus. And the moment that happened, the virus became peaceful, inert, non-contagious. It was just there. And a year later, I'm just reflecting at, we have done everything but. We have raised fear, we have raised anger, we have created divides, we have created separation. Yet the bigger asking here is, can we bring up our compassion as humans, and can we choose the truth over what has been the thing, what has been the, I don't even have word for it really, what have been the strategy up until now? Can we choose the heart over the ego and the money, and can we really shift into a paradigm where we will understand that when we come from a place of heart and love, everything will be, even for the insurance companies, even for the medical world, there will be a huge shift that will need to take place, but it will actually be for the goodness of us all. And so the last thing I want to say to conclude this, I just wanna, my heart goes out to everyone who has been experiencing this deep sadness of, it's like, I know there is something else that's available, I know there is something that can be done, and I feel the divide between the potential and what is actually being done. And especially to the physicians and the nurses and the healthcare workers that have been dealing with this for a year, and they have been on the front lines of this. I just cannot even imagine, because in my heart I feel so much sadness just knowing that, and just feeling and knowing what's available that we are not using because of whatever paradigm we are currently operating out of. Over here in this paradigm, it is available, we are using it, and everybody benefits, including the people in power. And I just really want to honor you. I want to thank you. I want to, my heart goes out to all of us as humanity, and I know that a paradigm shift is coming and is available, and it is the next step that is going to push us forward into the truth of who we are as humans. It's like this virus is here, and it's kind of this big, huge flashlight shining on everything that has been going on, and it's just like, I'm gonna be here until I complete whatever I came here to do, and that is for us to see the bigger picture. And again, blessings to everybody. My deepest gratitude for everyone who has been relentlessly trying to make this be completed and healed. And thank you, and just all the best to everybody. Blessings. And the moon is going to be coming out any minute, and I'll just ask for us to all be blessed and take care. Bye-bye.